3, 2, 1, action. Hey everybody, Chip Bubella here. Welcome back to the Real Estate Radio Show and the Entre Podcast. We're going to be setting the tone for 2026 today, talking about a lot of things. So welcome to the show, folks. This is the Entre Podcast and Radio Show, and this will be airing live on Thursday this week on KVLG KBEC 104.9 here in Grange. This is a pre-recorded show, and so we're looking forward to diving into 2026 with you guys. We're going to talk about setting the tone for this year, goal planning, market and goals, challenges, and motivation and excitement of the year. All right, guys. What does a successful year look like in 2026? Momentum versus motivation, consistency as a key to success. You know, there's a saying that motivation doesn't create action. It's action that creates motivation. You know, sometimes it's hard to get motivated, but sometimes a simple act of just taking action gets you going, right? I know that applies a lot in fitness, but the same thing in sales and marketing, you know, getting on the phone, making things happen, even when you don't feel like it. But as soon as you get going, you get the law of the big mo going, momentum. Momentum is our biggest friend, I feel like. And when we do action, we'll get that motivation, get going. So today, Brian and Corey are here with us again today. Thank you guys.
Howdy.
And if y'all want to say hello real quick.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for listening.
We had our sales meeting this morning with our agents, and we talked a lot about this year. And I'm trying to apply what I'm calling the 12-week year. I'm not trying, I am applying it. And it's breaking down the year into 12 weeks and then having 2 or 3 goals within those 12 weeks. Don't have a whole bunch of goals out there. Just focus on 2 or 3 in the first 12 weeks. And then having a plan every day, a daily plan, a weekly plan to execute in order to hit those goals, right? Mm-hmm. And this morning I talked about a lot of the lead gets the lag. So a lot of times people will say, my goal is this. Well, the problem is with just putting a goal out there, you got to have a plan to achieve that goal. And so you got to do those lead things, making those phone calls, you know, either writing notes, setting appointments, doing the work to get to the goal. And we talked a lot about that this morning. And I feel like we got a lot of the agents on board with that. And I talked about too, a lot of people don't want to do it.
Well, I mean, interrupt you right there. You bring up, I don't think they don't want to do it. They don't know how to organize it. They don't know how to put it together. What does that look like? And then you break it down to, okay, this is the goal. Mm-hmm. Here's what it takes to get the goal. But how did the action part of the plan, you know? So then that's where your motivation and that comes in. But it could be a little bit of not wanting to do it, but maybe scared, maybe not, you know, scared of failure. Mm-hmm. Could be one of those things. But I think all that comes together on trying to reach those goals. In
a market like where we are in, you have to be really good at sales. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to teach sales right now, trying to teach, you know, role playing, how to answer the phone. A lot of those things can help you become better at closing more deals. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about the LP Mama script today, which, you know, when a buyer calls, you know, and they're calling about a particular property, but while you kind of want to delay, you don't want to go straight to that property and start talking about the property. What you want to get to is getting to know them better and asking them questions. Hey, while I'm looking this up, do you mind if I ask you a few questions to really get to know what they're trying to accomplish so you can better serve them? And so a lot of times people feel like asking questions, you're being nosy or pushy when you're actually trying to be of service to them and asking good quality questions. And I said something this morning too, is like the quality of your questions will be the quality of your paycheck at the end of the day. So the more you ask, the more you dive into really understanding what their motivation is, the better you can serve them. So things like that too. I think as salespeople, we have to get better at that in this market because it's been a tougher market. It's been slower. We're going to get into that too. I think we're going to have a better market this year, which will help a lot of us. But we still need to work on ourselves and our business and our personal development side of things too. Reading books on sales, just really honing in on your skill set will help a lot.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then we talked about another thing was what is your one word that sets the tone for the year? You know, last year ours was fast money. We had a lot of slow money in our portfolio, and this year and last year we wanted to get more fast money. We wanted to really try to make make our businesses more profitable, make our P&L, our profit and loss statements more profitable, and all this. So we worked on that last year. This year, my word is execution. So, going into the 12-week year, reading that book, they talk a lot about execution. So why that's so important is you look at all great teams. You look at who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. You look at who's going to win the national championship and all this. What does that team do that nobody else does better? And what they do is they execute. Always loved Vince Lombardi. There was an HBO series on Heroes and Legends, and one of them was on Vince Lombardi. And John Madden went to a clinic back in the 60s with Vince Lombardi, and John Madden was like, what is this guy going to teach me about football? Like, I know everything about football. He said, we talked the whole day about the 88 sweep. That's all we talked about. He's like, and by the time I got out, he's like, I don't know nothing about football. But that team, the Packers back then, they ran the 88 sweep better than anybody else. You could not, on a defensively, stop that play. It was one play, but nobody could stop it. You know why? Because they executed it better than anybody else. Just that one play. And so that's what it's all about. I think it's about being tactful on a few things and being really great at them, and then you'll be able to execute. Any thoughts on that?
My word this year is consistency. I think that goes into execution a lot. Or I guess it's more of how I'm going to execute better, is by staying consistent. Because I feel like I even wrote down earlier, like consistent persistence. Basically that, like, a lot of times I feel like I'm going on a good stride in my life and like forming a good habit, going to the gym or even professionally, like getting things done. And then I kind of hit a roadblock somewhere and then you kind of fall off. So I'm trying to make sure that like those roadblocks are going to happen, but to push through those this year and just be persistent. And that way I can continue to execute all year long.
I know. And I read one day too, don't confuse perfection with consistency. Because you're going to have bad days. You're going to have days that you're not completely on. Like starting this show with you guys, I feel like I'm a little off today, and I'm only as good as my next radio show, right? And so I've got to be good, but not every radio show is going to be great. But if we consistently do the radio shows, that's what matters. We're not going to be great every time, but if we consistently put out content, we consistently try to add value, over time it will pay off, right?
I agree. Totally agree.
And not every show's going to be perfect. Not everyone's going to be fun, but hopefully we'll have some fun today and add some value. So
speaking of words, my personal word, I thought about this a lot in the last like 5 days, and I didn't even plan on it. It just came to me. But there's a lot of people self-discipline, personal and professional self-discipline. And self-discipline kind of goes into both worlds. But I was thinking about the other day, I would be considered pretty disciplined in my professional career. I'm consistent. I show up more times than not, and I accomplish what I set out to do. And so I was thinking of that. I just wish I was more disciplined in my personal life. I think there's areas in my personal life that do really well. There's things that I struggle on, and I think I want to hone in on improving personal discipline. But then I always break it down. I was like, well, I don't want to put a 365-day timeline on it. I said, well, let's break it down to 12. I do 3 months. Chip does 12 weeks, and there's different reasons people do that. I just do it. I'm more comfortable saying 3 months. 12 weeks just breaks it down a little bit more on a weekly basis. And so just these 3 months of the year, let's really, really look at personal discipline, where I'm lacking and where I want to improve. And I think if I can do that, that's going to really help my professional side and things I want to do over there too. So that's what personal discipline was, my 2026 word.
I love it. Ryan wrote down here, fewer goals or more goals?
Oh yeah. Like, do you think, well, or I guess, I don't know, it might be different per person. Like if, do you set a bunch of goals for yourself this year, or do you set which are like maybe very specific, or would you be better off setting like an overarching goal, like just being better at persistently like working on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or do you like try to specify it more? I guess that's what the 12 weeks might allow you to
Like the
specify
goal of mine's
more.
always been to write a book. I keep telling everybody I'm going to write a book, and I've like started the outline, but I've never actually done it. You know, it's a goal of mine. It's still a goal, but it's not going to be something I want to focus on this 12 weeks. This 12 weeks I was going to try to implement a culture of performance within Bubella Real Estate. I got to get the gym remodeled in Beeville.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second one. Then you and I on our marketing stuff. So I have 3 really big goals for this 12 weeks to accomplish. And I'm focusing just on those 3. I'm not diving into any other areas, you know?
Yeah.
That's not to say we can't have other things out there that we bring up to the attention that, hey, we should try to go to accomplish this. But those are the 3 that I'm really focused on this 12 weeks, getting those 3 done and focusing there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think I have a problem of setting too broad of goals at the beginning of a year and then never accomplishing them. So I think I'm trying to break them down into more accomplishable
I would
things.
break them. You'd have your overall goal. Like my overall goal is personal discipline, right? And then what are the arms that goes off that? Let's do sub words and sub goals off that. Personal discipline, diet, health, gym, relationships, you know, which ones need more improvement, working at which ones do I improve on? And then you could probably break it down a little more. Relationships, friendships, or family, which one needs more focus? And I mean, you could go on, but then you'd be able to sit there to look at it and weigh on what I want to focus on. It may just be what I want to focus on this week, you know, and I would break it down.
So a combination of both. You have that overarching main goal, but a lot of times you can accomplish it, you know, it's developing those other goals along the way and accomplishing those step by step.
And looking at it consistently, going back and looking at it. Take 10 minutes every morning, or whenever your clarity, your most. Take 10 minutes to look at it and study it. Mine's at 3:00 in the afternoon. Chip's is 6:00 in the morning. You know, it's 2 totally different ways to look at it, but look at it, Tim, and add a couple more things to it that, hey, I'm visually, this is what I'm seeing. That would be my advice.
Yeah. And you said like score yourself. That was interesting.
Your execution score. So like I want to get a score at least an 80% or better on the things that are my lead that leads to my lag. So, you know, role play, you know, going through the scripts, making sure I know what I'm going to say when I get on the phone so I can better serve my clients. You know, writing my notes to my clients and setting appointments. I want to go on at least 1 appointment per week. Okay. I want to at least sign, you know, 3 agreements per month, you know, and I want to be at least closing 1 deal a month, minimum, you know? And so really focusing there on the lead that gets the lag and scoring yourself, making sure you did those things on a daily basis, weekly basis. And so, yeah. And then you wrote in here 2 things you're intentionally saying no to. Like usually I take a trip in the winter, you know, right before spring. I like to get out of here when it's cold. This year I'm not doing it. I'm staying home. We got too much going on with the kids. We got prom. We got all this other stuff going on. So just saying no to a lot of fun stuff really this year, because I really want to execute this year. I want to be a better executor. I want to be a great team. I want to be a great leader. And so in order to do that, in order to execute, I'm going to have to say no to some things that I typically said yes to. So, and so what challenges are you leaning into this year? I think the challenge of executing is where I'm at, and really, like you said, saying no in order so I can execute on a lot of the challenges, and the challenges will be overcome by executing. So,
are you saying no to anything this year?
No. I already did.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a personal thing, and it was going to complicate things more than solve problems, and it was a big thing. So I had said no, and I'm at peace with it. It may happen at a later date, but it's not happening in 2026. So.
Very good.
Yeah. The marketing goals, I want to dive into this real quick because I know we only have 30 minutes, but are we expecting any trends to continue or cease in 2026? I feel the market could be bottoming out. You know, we've had a tough 2 or 3 years where the market's been slowing, but a couple things I want to read. Brandon Turner, who used to run Bigger Pockets, now he's went off, I think he sold that company, but he said something yesterday that I want to read to you. He said, unpopular opinion, Austin multifamily is one of the best bets right now. Yeah, prices are down 50%. Yes, they overbuilt, but Texas is adding 8.6 million people by 2050. Tesla is there. Jobs are moving there. Buy the dip. And I feel like it's a great opportunity for buyers right now to be buying. Don't miss out on this market, because then Clarence Yoon, who's the chief economist for NAR, said lower mortgage rates and a larger inventory will attract buyers back to the market in 2026. This will be our year. It's going to be a great year. And even the agents in here, today, we're talking about, we feel it. We've already got how much entitled this year in January, which is more than we've had, in the first month of the year in a long, long time. So we're what I call the hopper. The hopper's full. We got things entitled. And so it's a good feeling to start off the year. And that's momentum. That's law of the big mo. We got that momentum going, and we can keep that going. That's going to be great. So
there's hope ahead for real estate in 2026. There's always hope ahead in real estate.
Absolutely. Really, real estate's the funnest business in the world when you're doing really, really good. And it is the best business in the world, but it can be a challenging business. Coy, we had talked about numbers yesterday in Coy's office. We were talking about for getting ready for today's meeting. And he said, Chip, we would have had a great year last year if you would have hit your goals.
I don't ever bring it up. Chip brings it up. I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry.
I did not hit my goals last year. I was way off. And so, but I didn't execute. So that's why I was so focused last year on getting fast money, getting rid of things that weren't making money. That's where my time went last year. It really went to getting things off our books, getting rid of some of those offices that weren't making a profit for us. And so that's where we spent a lot of our time last year, getting rid of stuff that didn't make money. Mm-hmm. And we did that. We got rid of stuff that didn't make money. Now we're a much leaner, meaner machine. We really are. And I'm excited where we are.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
So, yeah.
New season. It's a new season. I'm excited. Energy's up. Focus is there. Clarity's there.
Yeah. Ryan wrote here, how do you prepare mentally for setbacks and tough seasons? I read a lot, guys. I try to feed my mind with positivity. I read things. I try to pick up on things that other people are saying. And there's a ton of mentors out there to help you in your business by picking up a book and just getting ideas and having that language that you learn about from these other folks and using that personally in your business and tactfully in your business. And so that's how I prepare mentally for setbacks and tough seasons, because what you realize is that everybody has them and you can't. I said this morning in the meeting. A lot of times we're comparing what we're feeling internally, what we're seeing externally from somebody else. Externally, looking at how people are doing, you would say, oh, wow, they have a wonderful life. And mine just flat out sucks, But that's because you have no idea how that person's feeling inside too. They could be struggling just as much as you are. But outside, it looks like they're doing really, really well, but you don't know how they feel inside. We all have tough days. We all have depressing days. And so you can't compare how you feel inside to somebody else external, how they look. And so you got to make sure you really, really don't do that, because it can put you in a funk. Don't do that to yourselves. You shouldn't compare yourself to other people either. It'll drain your joy for sure.
Brian, you want to hit on it? You got anything?
I think I'm good at that. I'm good at putting myself in other people's shoes. I feel like, and I feel like that helps me. Yeah, kind of just keep a reality check on where I am, or where I am in my life, and not really get too worked up about it, because I realize that everyone's story is completely different, and there's factors going on behind the scenes that you can't really comprehend or aren't shown on the external level, because we're all kind of playing a game when we step out of our house. Yeah, we're trying to put on a show, not a show too much, but you have to. There's a whole different personality you kind of take on when you step out, just so that way, you have some separation between your home life and your professional life. And I think that's important to recognize that in other people, because you want people to see you a certain way, and they want you to be seen a certain way too. Yeah. So I just realized that we're all kind of putting out there what we want to be seen, especially in the today's day and age of social media and stuff. I mean, we're all just trying to put out that image, who knows what's actually going on behind the scenes. So I think the goal is to put out an authentic image. That way, people understand you as much as they can. They'll never know truly who you are, but as long as you're putting out something that's authentic, like this is who I am, this is my voice, people are going to trust you.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be jealous of you. They're not going to talk behind your back about you, about how you think you're this, or think you're actually this, So I think authenticity it reminds me to be authentic whenever I think about what people are kind of putting out there and what is actually going on behind the scenes.
Integrity.
Yes.
Integrity is being who you are. A lot of people say integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Well, it's also saying this is really what's going on, and not trying to be somebody that you're not, know?
Yeah. You got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that for people out there trying to be real estate agents and market things, I think that should be kind of something you lead with. You have to be true to yourself, true to your product, true to your service, whatever you're putting out there, whatever your goal is, you have to be authentic. And integrity is what you're going to build your business off of, or your personal relationships.
You should.
You should.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah. I think, that's what personally, I think you should.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's plenty of businesses probably that don't lead with integrity, but I think especially where we're at, if you're listening to K-Buck, you probably appreciate integrity.
Yeah.
In this area, it's really important. So especially if you're trying to do a service for these people around here, sell their land, insure them, you got to lead with that integrity. So that's a good word for 2026 as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. The harder you work, the luckier you get too. So continually to show up, do the work, eventually you get lucky because hard work gets rewarded. And just continue to work hard, and the good times will show up.
I think if we go back to, I think the original things was, what do you lean onto, or what do you look into when you're faced with challenges, And I think probably 12 months ago, I probably wouldn't have had an answer for that. I probably would, but it probably would have been different. But in 2025, it was ups and downs. There was a lot of valleys and a lot of mountaintops. I think for me,
anytime you're building a house, you're going to have valleys.
For me, consistency, I always continue to go back to consistency. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, never have been, but I've consistently show up and I put in the work to learn. I put in the work to learn just various topics, various subjects, depending on what it is. I just put in the work. I consistently put in the work, try to fill my mind, even though if my mind's not listening, I just consistently do that. Another thing I do when challenges, Chip mentioned positivity, is that over the years I've learned that I don't allow negativity in my circle. It just flat out does not happen. I'm at an age, I'm 45. I do not have an ounce of time or energy to put up with any negativity. And I'm 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to say that out loud or tell that person or event or the action, hey, I don't need that. I confidently at 45 can say, hey, you're negative. I'm not going to have that in my circle. Sorry. We're going to go our separate ways. And I think that's key to surround yourself with positivity, positive actions, positive environments. And if you're not in one today, I encourage you to seek a positive place in your life. You'll be a lot more happier.
Create those healthy boundaries. Yeah. Create healthy boundaries around yourself. You don't want to, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. If you got 2 or 3 in your inner circle that you're hanging around a lot that are bringing you down, it's not going to help. You got to create a boundary around you and make sure you only have people in your influence, in your circle that want to get better with you. We're cheering each other on. We're giving each other advice, and we're trying to get somewhere and accomplish things and be great. And if you have people in your circle that aren't helping with that, you're not going to get there. What is one mindset shift listeners today can work on to help them out this year? What is one mindset shift?
Guess that was Coy's. Have a positive mindset and surround yourself with positivity. I think that's a good one.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Not all environments are positive, and not all supposedly positive environments are positive. But find those who are. Life's too short not to.
Well, I would say on this, I know we've talked about positivity, but we're all, you can be in a situation where it can put you in a bad mood, and it can eat at you. You got to get out of that. You got to go figure out get yourself out of that moment, out of that situation. Either go on a walk, go to the gym, go for a run, do something to get you out of that mindset. Is what I do. I'm like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to be back, And so when you realize, hey, I'm down, I got to get out. I'll be back. I'm down right now. I got to get my momentum back up. I got to get my positivity back. Find what makes you, and I know a lot of times being on this phone too much or scrolling too much or doing a lot of those things can drag you down too. And you got to get it's like, I got to put this thing away for a little bit, And I notice when I'm coaching my daughter in basketball now, and I'll be drained, but when I go coach, when I'm done with it, I'm like, feel pretty good. It's amazing what just getting away from this thing and doing something different can do for you.
What I've noticed, and I think over the years, is how quick I notice when I'm in a negative conversation, usually gossip, small town gossip. And then, man, within like first 6 words, I realize I'm in that conversation. And the sign of maturity and growth is noticing how to kill that conversation right then and there. And I think, years ago, it probably wouldn't have happened, but I encourage those to notice those conversations when they start going that way. Get out of them. It's a negative. It's a terrible place to be, gossiping and talking negativity about those or anything in your community.
Small people talk about people. Big people talk about ideas. So don't be small, be big. I'll be talking about somebody in my quiz like, you're being small.
No. I just walk out of your office.
All right. How much time we got, Ryan?
We got about a minute or two left.
Only got 1 minute left. All right.
Time flies.
Let's go to the last bullet.
Yeah. What would you encourage listeners to focus on this month, not the whole year?
Like, I think Coy and I touched on this at the meeting this morning, but if you have a goal, don't put it as a yearly goal. If your goal is to be positive this year, but I'm going to be a positive. Well, say I got 12 weeks to become a positive person. How am I going to turn that around? Okay, I got to get rid of 2 of my friends. Okay, you don't have to like get rid of them, but hey, say, listen, create some boundaries around you. Maybe you only hang around them.
Go buy them one of those books.
You can have. I have 5-minute friends. I have 1 hour friends. There's very few people I can go on vacation with for a whole week. Okay.
Amen to that.
Just if you have a friend that's a 2-hour friend and they've been negative, say, I'll give you 5 minutes. You become a 5-minute friend now. Okay. That's all you're going to get. If you want to hang around me more than 5 minutes, you're going to have to turn your life around, buddy.
That's a good point.
So choose your friends and decide how much time you're going to spend with them. That's what my if I was going to encourage you to focus on one thing this month, it would be, don't try to get something done in a year. Try to really dive down. If my goal is to become positive this year, make that happen in the next month, not the next year. Really focus on what are the changes I need to make in my life to turn me into a better positive person. I think, calendar year stuff, but every year is a new year to reset. It's just like, it's a new year, reset. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for just the new year. It's like the new identity to a new time, and you can let go of the past. And I think when it's a new year, it gives people an opportunity to say, okay, I got a clean slate and I can start over. It's kind of like going to confession as a Catholic. You get it. You're pure, you're holy. I'm good to go. It's like having a clean truck. I got my truck clean. It's waxed. It looks good. And that's what a new year is.
Nice. What about you, Coy? Sign us off.
I'll say right now, a lot of exciting business opportunities coming from the B Alliance brands, the Bubella Insurance Partners, the Bubella Real Estate. They're going to have both those companies have really great years. I already know it because I just know it, but I'm really excited for those two.
You can feel it.
I'm really excited for those 2 organizations. A lot's going to happen. A lot of positive going to happen. And that's going to give us opportunity to do more.
And we have the best team we've had in a long, long time. We have a really great team right now. And so we're all getting along. Feel like, the personalities that we have in the organization are great. And so that's really good. It's a good feeling. So,
all right.
Hey guys, thanks for listening in on the Entre Podcast and the radio show and here at KVLG, K-Buck Grange. You can join us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we appreciate all you listeners. God bless you guys. And y'all have an awesome year.
Thank you so much.
Bye.